These are the exact steps that we put in to make sure that Boston was going from this reactive mess to then being able to chill and walk past dogs in no matter what environment that we put him in. And for his owner to be able to go out and have a coffee after a walk, or just walk around a lovely central London park without any fear that her dog was going to become an absolute nightmare, and to have a stress-free experience with a reactive dog. And that's what this series has brought you along with, is to show the transformation that can genuinely happen in a real life scenario, in real life environments, rather than being going to a class or, you know, doing a Zoom session where the trainer or behaviourist never actually sees you and you pay 400 quid and get given a plan, and at the end of it, it doesn't really work, and then your dog gets given some medication. So this is what you should be able to see from any trainer that's working with behavioural issues, is real life outcomes. So without further ado, these are the priorities. You can do all the hill walking you want, you can do all the play stuff, which again is where we've taught some fundamental basics with Boston, but the biggest priority for me is getting a dog off lead, no matter what behaviour issues they've got. If they get stuck on a lead, there's no way you can get the fulfillment that you want. You know, he can run, Boston, this way. He can run so much faster than me, move quicker than me, sprint quicker. Anything he wants to do, it's going to be quicker than what I can possibly provide on any line. You know, flexi lead or doing a walk around the block. And one of his big problems was that he was chronically under fulfilled, under exercised, and making sure this dog had the ability to do this, which is to move around a park freely and get all this sort of pent up energy out of his system. And then crucially, hopefully, we will meet a few dogs as well, so you can have some social time as well, because if you didn't have social time, that was just adding to that frustration on the lead of that inability as a dog to be social around other dogs, and that social experience for any dog is really, really crucial, because whether they are one end of the spectrum and a bit of a recluse, or the other end of the spectrum and a big old extrovert, they've got to understand how to be socially appropriate. The recluse can't just run away and hide from all dogs, and the extrovert can't just run up to every single dog with the excuse of being just friendly. And all the other dogs that are in the middle, which is the vast majority of dogs, they also need to understand how to be socially appropriate around dogs. And that must, you know, you're going to have a small section of friends, which are the ones that you're going to bounce around with and have fun with, but the vast majority of other dogs, you're just going to meet, greet, and then move on. Apart from getting him off lead, was to play with him in a way, oh, good boy, in a way that satisfies this dog. Yeah, good boy. Good. Out. Out. Good boy. Get it. Oh, come on, get it. Yeah, good boy. Because if you cannot genetically satisfy the dog, you're going to be in big trouble. Good. Good boy. And so, good boy. Out. Out. Good boy. Down. Boston, down. And the reason why it's so crucial is because, get it. Then, when he's good boy, when he's fired up, good boy, I can then work, or we have worked on his arousal, you know. So then has been super good at then good boy, being fired up, but then at the same time, then I can get into out. Good boy. Get into the ready sit, hold his down stay, which I haven't asked for, but then it's super useful Good boy. Get it. Get it. Good boy. Super useful for then say I want him to be switched off in a cafe. If he's never learnt to be super excited and then to be a bit calm and actually listen to me, then there's no way he's going to do that in real life. Good. Out. Good. Oh, a dog over there. Okay. Ready? Get it. Good boy. Yeah? So, Watson, let's get it. Good boy. So his ability to stay in the game rather than charging over to the dog is really useful. You know, it's way better. Hey, instead of charging over to the dog, come in and do something constructive with me. Out. Out. Get it. Good boy. Get it. Get it. You done? Yeah, so he's gassed out. It's taken, I don't know, 3 minutes or so on a walk. Short stop, little play session, get him engaged, and then that's a little bit of relationship building rather than just going for a walk with him and expecting him not to be reactive and not to go up to every single dog, and he has to listen. And play is the way that builds that foundational listening skill for the dog. Obedience you can bake into your play. You know, we tried a little bit of hill, but I think he's so tired that he's like, oh, I can't even think. But transitioning that out is super important to help the reactive dog. And combined play, getting the dog off lead, those two things are going to massively benefit any reactive dog. And it's got to be at the core of your reactivity journey with your dog, is be able to sort of get them off lead, get them playing with you, and understand that yes, there might be a trigger over there, but it's engagement with me that is way more beneficial than way more beneficial than finding fulfillment by reacting. Because really and truly, good boy, that was the only fulfillment he was getting. Boot off, get a load of adrenaline. Boot off, get a load of adrenaline. So we've got to make sure that we give this adrenaline to this dog in a more constructive way, but crucially, be able to control it. The thing we've got Boston doing is making sure that at the beginning of the walk, just when the lead comes off, it does not mean you're running off. Waiting for a little bit of eye contact, and then his release cue. Break, break, break. Go on, boy. Yeah, really important just to see if the dog is actually going to be checked in with us rather than running all over the place. One of the priorities that we put with Boston, because he lives in a busy city, is understanding how to walk to heel. Now, if I had a dog that was, say, somewhere more rural, I wouldn't have put this as such a big priority, because perhaps there wasn't such a need to move that dog nicely through such a busy environment. Now, where Boston lives, London, very busy, and we just need to make sure that we can move this dog in a nice way. Good boy. And the rules are, when you're on your heel cue, you have to walk next to me. You're not allowed to go and pull over to lampposts like that. Yeah, I know. And the only way you can go and do those things is if I give him his release marker, which he knows as break, break. And then he'll go off and he can have his sniff. Now, all the time that he's on his break, he's on it. You know, he's allowed to sniff. In his case, he'll want to cock his leg. Now, the rules are, when you're on your break, you're not yanking me over to the next thing that you want to go and sniff. Yeah, he's a big, powerful boy, and he can easily take me somewhere that he wants to go, but he only allows us to wander. And then if I want to get him back into the behaviour, Boston, heel. Good boy. He will then come back into that behaviour. Good heel. And then we walk next to me. Yeah? So Dawn, his owner, has practiced this. Oi. Yeah, it still exists in me. Hey. Heel. Dawn, his owner, has practiced this. So as we're moving into his walk this morning, we're walking nicely, We haven't seen any dogs or anything else yet, that because it's quite early in the morning. But we will see dogs on the way back because that's when people start to wake up. But gives you an idea. So one thing that we've prioritised in his training is an understanding of this behaviour. Ain't it, boy? Yeah, good boy. And how to hold it and how to go past all his sort of real temptations. So with Boston, it was like diving at lampposts because he wasn't off lead, so therefore his only real fulfillment was going on, you know, the old sniffaris, which for a lot of the training world says, oh, it's the equivalent to an hour's walk. It's not, because when he gets off lead, you know, in the next 10 minutes or so, he'll be able to go running and do sniffaring. So therefore that's way more fulfilling than wandering around the block sniffing at the base of trees. No. So I corrected him there for doing that because I haven't released him to go and do it. And it's all part of the sort of little bit of relationship where I've just asked you to do this thing and you just have to do it. Then we get to the edge of the road. I haven't asked him to sit, good boy, but you just have, haven't you? Good lad. There's another little dog here, and this would have been utter carnage in the past. Utter carnage. But you can walk past now calmly. Then we're going to come up to some dogs here. And I'm not worried about what he might do. Yeah. Absolutely lovely. And that's because we have completely reduced, boys, hey, heel. We've reduced down all that frustration from that dog. So this was Boston's absolute kryptonite. Kid on a scooter and a dog. Can we do it? Oh yeah. There we go. You're smashing it, aren't you? Come on, this way. So in the past he would have gone mad at the scooter and mad at the dog in separate scenarios, whereas now we've got dog, wait, we've got a dog not going mad at the scooter and not doing mad at a dog.